Ladies and gents, welcome into Super Sunday here on the channel. We've got a belter today. The Baggies are taking on Burnley. Two teams that I think will definitely be up there in the playoff picture, potentially in the battle to win the league. Obviously, Middlesbrough are probably the guys that we fancy the most at this current point in time. Just making sure all the audio is working. But it's good to have everyone in here today. Love a Super Sunday. Love a championship matchup. As I said, yeah, these two teams are going to be up there. They're going to be in the conversation. I think the Baggies are one of the more exciting signs alongside the likes of Millwall. Obviously, Wolves got a big victory yesterday versus Preston North End. Millwall top of the league right now on 6 out of 6 points. Charlton after their win versus West Ham at a perfect 6 from 6 as well. West Brom can go and join them there today. These two teams, the last to play this week after a hectic Saturday yesterday. Wolves got the 3-1 victory over Preston North End. QPR back to reality, a 0-0 with Bolton. Southampton back in the winner's circle after beating Stoke City. Classic Swansea 0-0 with Sheffield United. Wrexham played a 1-1 draw with Watford. Charlton got the big 2-1 win over West Ham. And Millwall dominated 3-0 over Norwich. It leaves these guys to play last. As I said, West Brom win today. They join Charlton and Millwall at the top of the league with a perfect record to start off the championship season. Burnley look to get in the winner's circle after that 2-2 crazy draw last week versus West Ham United. A quick look at the lineups, and despite the players that I featured on screen in the thumbnail, one is missing today. That one being the big centre forward, Zian Fleming. The away side have gone with Humphreys, Allen, Carl Walker, who I thought was pathetic last week, Sonne and Rice in goal with Laurent and Hannibal in midfield. Ramsey playing in behind. Brozier today starts. Edwards after a decent game last. Somehow on the right. Brun Larsen on the left. From the bench, some strong players out there, but no one that I think would really change this game outside of Zaki and Dooney. The two teams walk out onto the Hawthorns. A lot of excitement and optimism at a high. For West Brom, O'Leary in goal was probably man of the match last time out when they got that victory versus Norwich away from home. Stiles, Campbell, Phillips and Galves on the back line. Malumbi on the right. Price on the left. Hornmeyer in midfield alongside Diakite. Up top with Egabo missing thanks to that handball he scored last week. He will miss for 2 games, so Whitwell joins Jimmy J. Morgan up top. Meaning from the bench, Sana Ode and Bostic, I guess, players to keep an eye on for, and Chris Meffin defensively back there as well. Let us know your score predictions, guys, in the comments section. Already got a Baggies fan in there, see in the comments. Excited for this one. I've had a lot of good things. I've watched back a lot of the highlights of the end of last season when the great run was going on for West Brom, and it's looking like a very, very good period of time if you're a West Brom United, West Brom's Albion fan, just with finally having some security at the football club, some consistency. And with this league being so competitive, you get a couple of good results and you're in the good books in this league. For Burnley, I like this manager as well. Watch obviously that West Ham game. Nicky Hayden, like what he's all about. Zian Fleming, though, not playing today is a big loss for the side. Armando Broja leading the line for them today. A lot of pressure on him, and he has to actually perform in this side here. Haven't seen the best of him in quite a few seasons, so maybe now with Zian Fleming potentially leaving the football club, he can make it all about him. There's James Morrison on screen. He's the man that's going to be hopefully bringing this famous club back to the Premier League. And there is O'Leary on screen as well. Fantastic last weekend. 6 saves in that fantastic 2-1 away victory at Carrow Road. A place that's not going to be easy to travel this season. Experienced championship watchers will know that. It was a very, very good display there from him in net. And obviously from the big man up top, Jimmy J. Morgan, who, alongside many exciting forwards in this championship season, are going to be an absolute handful. Marcus Edwards on screen. He will be a threat from out wide. As the two teams are in their huddles ahead of this one. Perfect conditions for football. Sunday lunchtime in the Midlands. Can't get much better than this. Sun baked. An August day from the second tier. It's West Bromwich Albion, the Baggies, at the Hawthorns, playing host to promotion candidates Burnley, the Clarets. And we are underway from the Hawthorns. West Brom kicking us off left to right. Burnley in their traditional colours from right to left. Who gets an early foothold, an early confidence booster in this league? It's a Super Sunday matchup that I've been keeping a close eye on this game for a long time. I've been very excited about this one. Had it marked in the calendar. And it was even more exciting considering how both teams played Matchday 1. I'd love to see Ian Fleming if he had the start today. And oh, there's a little slip there. And Amanda Arroyo got in ahead of the slipping Campbell, and heart to mouth there. Obviously, the Super Sunday fixture last week, we saw Southampton just hand Watford 2 goals in the first half, and it's almost the exact same there for Campbell at the back. Crisis averted, though, for West Brom, who defended so solidly last time out versus Norwich City. They'll look to lean on that backbone once again, but I think we know a lot of the excitement on this side comes through the midfield and forward regions. Of course, Jimmy J. Morgan has been the focal point and a lot of the excitement. But Malumbi on the right as well, and Meyer in midfield. It's a lot to be excited about. Another Norwegian joining the troops here. Heckerbo missing the next 2 games. It's going to be big for James Morrison and his West Brom side. They can survive without him for 2 games. A very, very experienced centre forward now for this side that's played some great football over the last campaign and a half. But worked out here to Styles on the left-hand side. And for Burnley, obviously, I think you're going to have to go through Marcus Edwards today, who looked really, really dangerous versus West Ham United. The end product for him has always been a bit of a problem, having that final clinical touch or ability to find a way through a back line. But what we saw last week was a lot of the excitement that he brings. Electric type winger. I think this man on screen, though, Kyle Walker has to be better. First goal from the corner kick, basically just concreted on his line there. I think a lot of questions would have been faced his direction by the local Burnley media. It's one of the rare times I saw him just look all at sea. Maybe a bit of the age impacting his play. But worrying enough for Burnley was he looked a little bit disinterested in that first game versus West Ham. They want to be better than that, though. I think Burnley are a team this season that will want to win a lot of games 1-0, 2-0, and control games. I think they're going to be a side that's going to score bags of goals. Jade Anthony joining Brentford. You lose a talent there. Ian Fleming looking like he might be in his way out. Brun Larson is a very, very talented player. Someone that knows this division. But he's not a massive output player. Probably hasn't given output now for a long period of time. So I think they'll be relying on this backline to be super solid. And they'll be very happy to see no Hegebo in the starting lineup today. Pulled around the corner there. Battle and a foul there by Laurent. Burnley want to start better than what they did last time out. They cannot rely on the brilliance of Ian Fleming today. They want a consistent team effort rather than a strong second period, like what we saw versus West Ham United. Ball out wide here. Here's Price from wide left. Shifting his weight inside and picking out a pass. Malumbi sort of just drifting. Ball out to Giles on this right-hand side. Whitwell's drifted wide to create the option. Here's the forward. Diakite now. There's Ramsey draped all over him. It's West Brom try and just manufacture a chance here. There's Malumbi. As much as it will go through Marcus Edwards for the Clarets, he'll go through Malumbi for West Bromwich Albion. Whitwell. Ball in! Oh, good effort on goal. And important saves by Weiss. It was straight at him, though. Really disappointing that Price couldn't pick out that far corner. Well set up, though. Whitwell drifting. They've lifted the team shares a 4-4-2, but looks like he's going to be playing out on that right-hand side. Malumbi a little bit more centrally orientated. And an early chance for in the way of West Bromwich Albion, their first chance breaking through this Burnley back line. That's a great ping to put last on his left-hand side. Here's a chance now to get Burnley forward. Into Ramsey. Going around the Premier League. Just had the capacity in this league to really make an impact for Burnley, but wasn't his best game last week. There is Marcus Edwards, though. Hannibal. I like what I'm seeing earlier here, though, from West Brom, and how they're sort of nipping at the toes of Burnley, but saying that, there's a chance here. Sonner. That's over. Brun Larsen. Really poor delivery from the fullback, because Brun Larsen had a lot of space to almost take a touch if that ball found him accurately enough. West Brom just coming very narrow. And then it was Galves. It was sucked in alongside the centre half. The right back Galvez, and Brun Larsen could have had a great shooting opportunity if the ball was better from Sonner. Almost slipped out the hands of Galves there, but ball still alive. Returned back by Laurent to Weiss in goal. Trying to see who sort of controls the possession this one. You'd expect Burnley to have a little bit more of it with the sort of style of player they have. More technical, proficient players, some Premier League quality players in this side as well. We saw how well West Brom did on the counter-attack and defending resolutely last week. So, might be a little bit of back and forth in that regard. Carl Walker searches back for Weiss, and keeper once again wanting to play out from the back. Burnley obliged to do so. West Brom with the press doing well to lock them in. Good start, though, to this one. Burnley already making mistakes. And that was a pull by Hannibal, surely. I thought on Meyer. Great turn for Marcus Edwards. And Brun Larsen's been set behind. Bro, essentially run at the back post as well. Oh, that's been put in his own net. Stiles has put it in. And Burnley on the counter-attack have struck first. A scintillating, swift counter move. And it's nothing that Stiles could do about it. Just hit him and went in the back of his own net. And despite the really, really bright start the Baggies have made, they trail. Questions at marks of the referee, because there was surely a pull on Hornmeyer by Hannibal Mabry there. Clear foul. Clear foul for me in the build-up. The referee didn't like it, though. He said, play on. And from the turn of possession, Burnley went coast to coast. And, of course, it was Marcus Edwards at the centre of everything, like he has been in Matchday 1. And Brun Larsen put a ball in there. And Stiles really did his job defensively. He got in front of Sonner there at the back post, but it just hits him and ends up in the back of his own net. Disaster for West Brom. Brilliant for Burnley, though. They lead early here. Sunday lunchtime. And the battle of these two teams that want to be pushing at the top of the championship. It's the Clarets who lead. I'm not sure that is a great call by the referee. Maybe it's a bit of karma for last week in Hegerbo's handball goal. I do not know what the referee saw there, though. Hornmeyer clearly pulled around the neck by Hannibal Mabry. Set the precedent though here, the referee. Here's Whitwell. That's a dangerous looking ball. That's a shove in the back, surely. No foul again from the referee. It's madness. It's got to get really scrappy in a minute. He doesn't start making some of these whistles. Now Varney Vantage played. Skipper Campbell has a football. Mental start of this one. 10 minutes in. Own goal. Giving the Clarets the lead. Whitwell. Just did that a little bit too much and always showed the ball to Humphreys there. He's playing in that left back position today. It's going to be an interesting little match up there, Whitwell and Humphreys. You back the young Baggies attacker in there, but Humphreys a very acquitted fullback and someone who can adjust very well to different situations. So that'll be a nice matchup on the right-hand side for West Brom. Here's Phillips. What a game he had last week. Turn of possession though. And this is where Burnley struck just minutes ago. That pass over hit though for Ramsey. On my Malumbi already in the early moments here looked to be players that gets on the ball and make things tick for this baggy side. Just like Malumbi sitting alongside Diakite. Holmeyer just slightly further forward in that number 10 position, supporting Jimmy J. Morgan up top there. Not a great start though for West Brom. They're going to have to come from behind here to get a result out of this one. It's here really late on versus Norwich, but defended so well for 90 there. No deflection there if Kyle Walker looks like. And what have we got going on here? Referee maybe just having a word with Walker after a bit of dissent directed towards him. And the changeover decision. There's Campbell, Malumbi, and goes back to the safety of O'Leary. We don't learn a lot about this West Brom side today, I think, especially now that they are trailing, if they have got that ability to fight a way back into a game and not surrender control. I think early last season, that was one of the reasons they were in the drop. They just were able to concede goals in just clumps. And until back in the year, they turned it around. They were able to find a bit of momentum and form. I think the vulnerability with this side, though, is they do concede first. How do they respond? It's a foul this time by Hannibal Mabry. And in this Burnley side, you've got players that have, in the Premier League, obviously experienced going behind and having to fight back and find a way back into games. And obviously a little bit better set up in that regard. The quality of Middlesbrough cannot be forgotten about. And obviously West Ham is way too good for this division. They're already struggling, though. But I think that's the question of West Brom, how they are able to respond mentally to trailing or struggling in a game. And this is a great example here versus one of the top sides. How can they fight back? You already see, though, that Burnley happy to give up a bit of possession here to West Brom. And a chance for them to get the ball here and just start to grow some confidence back. They really have had, I think, the lion's share of it early on here. Created that really good chance earlier. Price's effort straight on at the goalkeeper, but that was a really, really beautiful move down the right-hand side and just showing the talent that this West Brom side possesses. It's about though how consistent that talent can be. Campbell long, nodded down by Whitwell. Holmeyer can plan the turn here. Threat is up there, but Marcus Edwards getting back and doing his defensive work. Doing it well. Setting that task of Broyer. But Campbell across and did well. Here is Jimmy J. Morgan. Going to be a keen watch today. See if the young superstar can deliver something. was obviously in the goals last week, getting a goal and assist in that one versus Norwich in that victory. Scored a plethora of goals in pre-season. Can he make it past this back line? Ball out his right-hand side where Whitwell was, but just couldn't take that ball in his stride. And despite the incisive play, just a turnover there for West Brom. Now look again, that is a blatant foul by Hannibal. But this here is beautiful to watch. Marcus Edwards surrounded by 4 baggies and just absorbs the pressure, slips it into Brun Larsen. And this is what I'm talking about. A veteran, experienced player. Just puts the ball in a dangerous area. Set the task of the defenders to deal with it, and Styles couldn't. It just comes off him, and in the end, looks like a good finish at the wrong end. One of those unfortunate ones. You can't really fault, though, the left back of West Brom. Right turn there by Whitwell. Jimmy J. Morgan on the swivel. Referee, the flag is up, so that attack has come to a abrupt halt as Jimmy J was on the swivel. Not happy with the refereeing decision. Good call by linesman, though. Morgan offside. Just drifted off and able to get himself back on in an onside position in time in that one. It's great from Campbell, pressing up the pitch and getting a toe in, but unable to keep the football. Can't be too disheartened, though, by the start has been made here. West Brom and these home fans. Galvez did well there, won the ball back. West Brom the other way. Jimmy J, little nutmeg on Marcus Edwards. Styles, can he make up for that early own goal? Malumbi gets past the initial Laurent challenge. It's about for Diakite there. West Brom pressing here. Burnley just forced back in their defensive shape here. West Brom possessing about 30 yards out from their goal. Styles got himself into trouble, then got himself back out of trouble. Early ball in, took a nick. Whitwell! It's in! And the Buggies have equalised! And it's Harry Whitwell with a superbly taken finish. The ball landed on his feet and stroking home from inside the box. A ball in the box that Burnley failed to deal with. It fell the way of the young attacker, and Harry Whitwell, he did the rest. He picked out the bottom right-hand corner, and it's game on here at the Hawthorns. West Brom 1, Burnley 1. What a game we've got in our hands here. Look at this from Styles. Fantastic way to keep the football. Gets a bit fortunate with the ball drifting out wide. Ball gets put in. Jimmy J gets a little nick on it, and it lands at the feet of Whitwell. That was a really important dance because Humphreys is stooping down there to get the head away. But that Jimmy J. Morgan touch set up his strike partner in Harry Whitwell. And a really smart left-footed finish right into the bottom right-hand corner. And the Baggies draw level. That's what they deserve. A really bright start from those wearing navy blue and white. We got a game on here. 20 minutes in. One of the more entertaining games from the weekend already. How did Burnley respond? They sat off a little bit too much for my liking. It almost was reminiscent of what we saw last week, where they almost just rescinded control to West Ham in the early moments. Here he is again, Whitwell. And plays the early ball. Sets a task to Jimmy J. Max Allen, got back and set up Vice. How exciting are those two up there? Add Eggerbo to the equation. And that's why Whitwell's got the chance here today in the suspension of Eggerbo. But what a way to mark your introduction with a goal like that. Well taken, son. That's about how this Burnley side can get back and wrestle control back here. Experienced veteran Kyle Walker sets the task here of Armando Broja. He's onside here, no flag. Broja! Oh, shot on goal, well saved. Big save from O'Leary. Thought he was off, but actually it's a fantastically timed run. O'Leary was in no man's land and had to backpedal, and whilst doing so, got down well to his bottom left to make the save. Broja causing problems here for this West Brom side. Through from Kyle Walker. Put behind by Diakite. Big midfielder, sending it behind. Chance here for a Burnley corner. Marcus Edwards is left-footed in-swinger. Brun Larsen's right-footed out-swinger. Looks like it's going to be Brun Larsen. Max Elaine and Lumby having a talking to here by the referee. Bit of grappling inside the box there. So he's without swing. That with a Price at the near post. Edwards with tricky feet. Well done to close down that cross and block that one away. And the Baggies can get out of there. Deep defensive shape and start the press up on this Burnley side. They've sprung the press so far pretty well. Caused some problems for Burnley, who religiously are playing out from the back. Hannibal Mabry. Beautiful little dink pass into midfield. But possession given away by Ramsey in midfield, who, as I said, didn't really impress in the first week and hasn't really impressed so far in the opening 22 minutes of this one. A lot of pressure on him. Bit of reputation. To show that he is all that, if you will. Price had nicked off his foot by Hannibal. Give me a ball that's put back by Galvez to O'Leary. Both teams showing what they can do. Transition of Burnley leading to the own goal in the early moments. But the build-up play for West Brom has been impressive. Jimmy J just drifting offside there. Burnley playing that high line. Despite his age, still a speedster in Kyle Walker playing at centre-half. You're going to have a line that is going to be quite high. Max Elaine as well. Manchester City Academy product. Knows what a high line's all about. Humphreys into Hannibal. Now to Marcus Edwards, and this smells danger for West Brom. Tries to squeeze the ball out wide, Edwards. Baggies in deal with it in Malumbi. Really uncontrolled clearance by Phillips, sorry. And that was a clear foul. The referee this time has seen it. On Harry Whitwell by Humphreys. As I was saying, I think Whitwell can get the better of that matchup, and well, he's scored the goal, so you can say he quite comfortably has. I think for Nicky Ayen to just think about the Burnley manager. Haven't quite settled comfortably. This was a quite extravagant dive in the end from Whitwell, but impeded nonetheless. Price. Campbell now with Phillips. Galvez, Diakite, and West Brom showing their ability to possess out here and play out from a Burnley press. Advantage play by the referee after the challenge on Diakite. Price almost had a play, but Jimmy J kept it in. What a coup that one was from West Brom to get the superstar in. Incredible for Peterborough last campaign. A lot of excitement around him. There's a great little link-up play. The ball put in the box. Not dealt with. Jimmy J. Morgan! Oh, offside. Wow. And the threat comes to an abrupt halt there. Great call by the linesman, but gee, Styles to do better there to stay on side. Second action though, Jimmy J was there to tap it home. There's a standing applause here for Kevin Castro. Awful story coming out of the EFL. In the last few days. 25 years old, just an absolute travesty. When Larson ball in, chance for an equal. Oh, sorry, a chance to go in front here for Burnley, but shot was missed. And away West Brom can come here. Price pulled down and foul given by the referee. And in this time a yellow card shown as well. And Sonna. Fullback just trying to get back and having a little tug on Price there, and quite rightly picked up a card for his challenge. So here's Campbell. I'll have a sort of just confirmation that yellow card there. Lumby looking for the goal scorer Whitwell, just couldn't hold that ball up with the pressure of Humphreys just behind him. It's approached the 27th minute. I think they'll take it, West Brom fans. You see Mac Delane there, just frustrated. Burnley just trying to play out here, and there's a lack of real opportunity and options available in the central midfield area. And look at this midfield of Laurent and Hannibal. It's not your traditional two in there. Two players that can definitely play, but not two players you trust with feeding the ball in under pressure or back to goal and working out of that position. I think that's what West Brom are going to try and pounce on. Diakite and Malumbi are going to, as I say, that they're giving the ball away themselves. They're going to try and pounce on that. Humphreys just being found there by Diakite. Their stats for you as we approach the midpoint of this first half. Burnley unbeaten versus West Brom in the last 7 meetings. 2 wins and 5 draws. Only scored 6 goals across the last 5 matches entering this one here. Whereas the Baggies are won the last 6 games, scoring 16 goals. But a winless in 4 championship meetings with Burnley, drawing 3 and losing 1. See how this one ends up here today. What to be excited about though in the championship in general. Saw for Lopez score yesterday for Wolverhampton. Obviously in the Super Sunday game last week, watched Watford and their abundance of young talented players on that side there as well to keep an eye on for Lancashire at Middlesbrough is someone that I think is going to be a centre of attention as well. Tolai. Left Plymouth also a really exciting younger player as well. But Naby Zada, Bravo and Mayama were really, really good last week for Watford. Yet again, were key figures in their result versus Wrexham yesterday. Obviously seeing Whitwell and Jimmy J. Morgan being involved here in this one. Middlesbrough not getting a positive result yesterday. But they've got a lot of exciting youngsters there with Lancashire. Berholzer, Sarmiento got in the score sheet. I wherever you look this season in the Championship, there is bags of talent and bands of exciting players around every single corner. I think it's one of the more exciting seasons that we may ever watch. On ball looking for Jimmy J. Great challenge. Being held off it. Tossing over Sonna. That's great work from Jimmy J. Morgan, pressing up the pitch and causing Burnley problems. An early throw taken. Malumbi. Diakite. As his name is sung by the West Brom fans. Just feel like he is in the mood today. A couple of Premier League games later in the afternoon. Instead of 2 p.m. kickoffs, Villa, Brighton, City and Bournemouth, and the big one this evening up north, Newcastle and Liverpool. Tuesday out, Alexander Isak fares in his return to St James's Park, and interestingly, Andoni Iraola's Liverpool fares versus the new built Newcastle United side. There's definitely that to be excited about this evening. All day of football today. A solid lunchtime fixture. A mouth-watering one nonetheless here. West Brom and Burnley. A better way to start your day. Walker. Ball squeeze through. Taking a deflection there of Campbell behind. It'll be a Burnley corner kick here. Second of the matchup. Second from that side, the far right-hand side for them. As they take the left to screen. Max Lane and company roll up. This time it's just going to be Marcus Edwards standing over it. Works the ball short to Brun Larson though. Gets the return ball. Can he manufacture a decent angle here for a ball? He could, but under pressure overhit it and straight behind for the O'Leary goal kick. In the end, a wasted opportunity for Burnley there from a set piece. One of my pet peeves, I think, in world football is the short corner. Got to just get the ball in there. And you saw yesterday, to my team's detriment, that set pieces can be all sorts of problem. An early ball here. It's made their way through, all the way through. Oh! And Price at a shot and goal. Oh, Meyer cutting that ball back, but it lacked the power to reach Jimmy J in time. Dear Keith, that's wasteful. Once again, though, West Brom packing a punch, this time in transition. Here it is there on Meyer. The cutback ball just lacked the pace to get through quick enough and in time. And Campbell's picked up a yellow card there, which we've missed watching the replay. Baggy skipper just pulling back Brozier. That's quite clearly a yellow card. One of the easier decisions the referee have to make today. So George Campbell in the big, joining Sonna. There's Marcus Edwards in the pocket. Bit of silence settles in here on the Hawthorns. Loud crowd to start off with, but oh, that's a poor turnover for Max Lane. Maybe some of the football just a little bit more wasteful here, and that's why some of the excitement from the crowd's been zapped out of it. That's better though in midfield from Hannibal and company. Diakite getting back and sliding in to win the ball. This is the chance of the counter-attack now for West Brom. Whitwell does well to ride a few challenges. Oh, Meyer on this right-hand side now. That ball slightly overhit and always favoured Vice in goal. Came and collected and looked to freed Humphreys here. Hannibal. That ball was well overhit. Burnley's connection right now looks to be a little bit off. They're trying things and it Looks good almost up to that midfield area, the centre of the park, basically on the halfway line. That's where it's all breaking apart. Whether it be a player not showing or a loose touch. Potentially just a miscommunication between the side. It's solid up till then. That's not far enough, I think, for Burnley fans. Whereas West Brom, maybe just that final product that's just gone missing in the last few minutes, but comfortable in possession. They've had the lion's share of the ball so far. 60% of it. Credit the 0.3 XG with 3 shots on goal. Burnley only the 0.08 XG so far with 1 shot on goal. Own goal giving them their score. And there's a prime example yet again. Brozier too far ahead of Marcus Edwards, and full back also not the same wavelength as well. Frustrating watch for the manager. His side once again have not really got going in the first 45 minutes. A lot of hand waving going on. Very disjointed and a bit part so far. Throws too long there. So it's picked up by Max Alleyne, and he'll go back to Weiss in goal. This is where Jimmy J looked to put pressure on the keeper. Forces a loose kick. From last they got there first, Laurent Diakite. Phillips. Diakite again. Pick up that loose ball. Fantastically worked here. Galvez. Towards Jimmy J Morgan, and he's offside again. Got to be better than that. Big centre forward. The high line, though, of Burnley has worked well. That's 4 times now. Jimmy J or Styles on that far left-hand side have been caught offside by this high line. Almost compressing the pitch into a 30-yard region here, Burnley, between the high line and where Brozier is up top. Catching out this West Bromwich Albion side. So allow Jimmy J Morgan to flourish so far. And yet still he's got an assist. Son up. Back with Hannibal. Under the pressure. Fizz one in, and Marcus Edwards, he couldn't take that in. Don't think anyone in world football could. And West Brom come away with it. That's an exciting diagonal. Galvez got on the end of it. And West Brom can come marauding forward here. Whitwell, the goal scorer. Galvez goes on the inside of him. The layback is on here, though, to Malumbi. West Brom can maintain possession here. 8 minutes out to the half. Gone past that initial phase there, but Burnley done well to prevent the counter. I think this is where West Brom done their best work, when Burnley has actually been set up and they can try and play through. Whitwell on the right-hand side now. For the Baggies. Gets away for Max Alleyne. Morgan. After Styles, and the first touch was poor. Gave possession away. Showed too much of the Burnley midfielder, and almost on the counter-attack there. The West Brom skipper, Campbell, across to make the intervention. I don't think I actually gave a prediction for this one here, but I think the Bags end up winning it 2-1. I think they've, at home, got the quality, got the players. As I said, I think they're playing actually much better when Burnley are set up, and it wasn't for this high line catching them out a few times. They really could have had 2 or 3, I think. Things go their way. In this first half, I wouldn't be surprised if they take the lead into the interval. Burnley got some questions to answer. Hit Ramsey more involved or just engaged in this matchup. They have to be less wasteful. Hannibal, Marcus Edwards, Laurent in midfield. Just been a point of disconnection. The Baggies, all they need is just one well-timed run from Jimmy J Morgan, and I think we're looking at a West Brom lead. It's a good Sunday lunchtime fixture so far, though. Ebbs and flows, definitely. Chip ball looking for Morgan by Styles. And those two have worked really well together so far. Diakite edges the ball forward. Hey, West Brom go again. Ball for Galvez. Got to be careful here. Humphreys played himself out of trouble. Chance to carry now for Ramsey. But gave the ball away again to Diakite. He really has been a bit of a shambles so far. The West Brom fans just find their voice. Galvanise their side here in the final moments of this first 45. As I said, have had ups and downs, but I think they have, for me, played a better football. Price, Galvez, into midfield where Diakite is, bit of space for him to carry. Roger getting back and pressurising the midfielder. And during the challenge and keeping the ball really well. No foul call though. Just did well to keep it, Price. Just see how high that line is. There's obviously space in behind, but not much space to really spin. Got to really time these runs. We'll see something from deep. Maybe a Meyer or a Malumi can pick out a pass from somewhere. Well, that's really poor from Styles. For his lofty stands and how well he played in the first game, it's not been that great from him. Morgan's got a toe in and beat Hannibal to it. No foul, says the referee. Whitwell sets one up. And Price, again, timid effort. Vice straight into his grateful arms. Hannibal, again, though, caught on it. Burnley have just been sluggish. They've just been off it 5 or 10%. And West Brom, on another day, really could be and should be leading. Here is Sad Hannibal Mabry. Is he more of Marcus Edwards? It was him that was vital in the build to the first goal, the own goal. Need to get him on the ball here. There he is. Drifty one in there. Back post. But Larson! Off the upright. Oh. And it stays out. And there's a chance for a counter here. Jimmy J. Morgan trying to get ahead of Kyle Walker. And as I was saying it, Marcus Edwards, he's got a wand. A bit of magic. And once again, Galvez has come so narrow. No awareness over his shoulder. And Brun Larson is in free at the back stick. And to be honest, I think he'll be kicking himself if he hasn't hit the target. Got to do better than that. Brun Larson, under his quality, has to score. What a pick out for Marcus Edwards. And unfortunate for Burnley not to be leading. They don't quite deserve it. When you've got talent like Marcus Edwards and quality like Brun Larson, you can do that. Galvez has been so vulnerable at the back post. Bit of pressure for Lauren on Malumbi. O'Leary long. Kyle Walker and Morgan getting tangled, and Jimmy J's been really singled out today, and that's a foul. Offside. There's the linesman. Don't think those two are going to be best of mates after this evening. It's the fourth time for him, the fifth time for the team that Jimmy J has been caught offside. Here's Edwards again. We're going to skip past Price and instead another ball in there. Galvez this time has a little bit more defensive. Oh, what a skill by Brun Larson. There's the shot. Ramsey, not dealt with. And just spinning around in there. Brun Larson taking the piss a little bit. And Galvez has no idea. What a turn for Brun Larson. And if he scored the goal, that's probably up there for Puskas. And Ramsey had his shot blocked by Phillips, though. And after all of what I've said, probably going to half-time, Burnley be saying, how are we not 2-1 up? End of this first half on fire. Kyle Walker now. I know some Burnley now. I've got that look here. They might just sneak one before the half-time interval. And it's all come through Brun Larson and Marcus Edwards. No surprises there. Been a lot of pedestrians in this side in the first 45, but those two have been on it. Edwards at the moment just sort of finding himself centrally. This time Galvez gets the defensive header on it. Now it's the ball getting to Brun Larsen, but recycled to Max Lane here. Probably get 2 minutes or so at a time. Can't imagine anything too long here. The final few seconds of the 45. Let's have a little down patch here. We'll have a quick look around the grounds. Obviously, I mentioned those Premier League games coming up. We've got Atletico Madrid and Villarreal at 11 p.m. this evening. And from the Serie A, some big games. Atlanta and Sassuolo, Torino and Milan, Frosinone, Juventus and Venezia Lecce. As PSG start their domestic campaign against Rennes away. Great squeeze through ball by Marcus Edouard. Marcus Edwards. And the referee's gotten right in the way there. He's had a bit of a stinker, I think, in this first 45, the referee. Humphreys blocked off it by him. So we get 2 minutes added on here. Half a minute through it. With Edwards. That's his left-hand side here. Alain, Brun Larsen. He's been in the thick of things in the last 4 to 5 minutes for Burnley. As we're into the last minute of this first half. Had some dull moments, but also had some very exciting patches as well. These two teams, again, as I said, probably not a team that will score bags of goals, West Brom or Burnley. But teams that are talented, capable in possession. And both will be looking towards the top end of the championship this campaign. Alain out to Humphreys. Space to put a ball in. Delays it. So Whitwell's there to pressurise him now. Pulls it up centrally for Kyle Walker. They work from left to right. 15 seconds to play in this first 45. Edwards chops inside again and puts another ball in. And once again, this one is overhit, and that should take us then to the interval. And he has been the man for Burnley so far. That is the half-time break. So it was a Styles own goal in the opening 10 minutes that gave Burnley a probably undeserved lead early on. And from there, West Brom, I think, continued to play on their terms. Eventually, Whitwell found the goal after Jimmy J. Morgan got a little toe on it to land it at his foot. After that, though, later in the 45, Brun Larsen and Marcus Edwards came alive. Brun Larsen hitting the upright, a few half chances going Burnley's way. But to be honest, it was an even first 45, and that's how we end it. One apiece here as we go into the half-time break. We'll be back after this half-time interval for second half action very, very soon. Stay with us, guys. All right, ladies and gents, we're back for the second half. One apiece after the first 45. What to play for here. And goal from Styles in the opening 10 minutes. And an equaliser from Harry Whitwell in the middle point of the first 45 minutes. The first half that at times lacked some quality, at times was a little bit disjointed. Nonetheless, we saw some passages of what both these sides can put together. So Oliver Sonner coming off, and on comes Connor Roberts. I like that move because Sonner on a yellow card and didn't look one of the stronger players in this Burnley side. Burnley didn't play well, yet they could have been leading at the interval. I think West Brom had the better things throughout large portions, but couldn't make it happen in the final third. 5 offsides on the first 45 for West Brom. They want to hold their runs a little bit better against this Burnley high line. We're underway here then for the second period here at the Hawthorns. Burnley had kicked off. They'll kick from left to right, attacking the away fans behind that goal. They've their traditional home strip with the white shorts. West Brom, the navy blue and white stripes, also their traditional colours. Hey, Whitwell on the score sheet early on. Jimmy J. Morgan on the assist, but he'd love to be in the goals as well. Here comes Price, straight with the offing here. Price out to the goal scorer Whitwell. A real positive start to this one in the second period, straight at the front foot. Galvez was caught out at the rear of that West Brom defence a few times in the first 45. Whitwell stands one up. Poor delivery, though, behind everyone in the box. Campbell, though, will repel. Here is Styles. Still going to make up for that own goal in the first 45. Ball in towards Jimmy J. Touch just got away from him. Came the way of Price. Price! Oh, what a hit! 60 seconds in the second half. And Isaac Price gives the Baggies a lead. Oh, it's a beautiful hit. It was placed to perfection. And Vicing goal could go nowhere near it. What a start. Electric out the gates in the second period. Jimmy J. Morgan, the ball just couldn't sit to his feet. Loose ball. That Price picked up and boy, did he place that ball to perfection. Just came, he's on the edge of the area, picks his spot. And what a hit. It's the far right-hand corner. Touch of class. At times, quality has been absent in this game. Isaac Price had picked that one out. What a hit. From out there was no certainty. The ball on the bobble as well. Just struck it with enough accuracy and ferocity. And the keeper couldn't go anywhere near it. And we have a belter to start the second period. Baggies lead at the Hawthorns. And that will get the fans out their seats. What a start for West Brom. Just tell from the start of the second half where they got forward and to get at this Burnley side. They wanted something out of the halftime interval. And James Morrison side could have a third here. It's been picked up by Price running through. Carl Walker, as well as Connor Roberts doing the defensive work there. They could have gone from bad to worse for Burnley. Once again, though, Laurent misplacing a pass, and this time again misplaced by Roberts. Given to Whitwell. Whitwell tripped by Laurent. And a foul in a very, very dangerous position. Burnley all over the place right now. Hey, Whitwell already in the goals. Fancied his chances there, but Laurent just stuck his foot out and tripped the young attacker. West Brom fans finding some voice here. Their team have come out the blocks and bolted into a lead here. So Styles got close last week. Price already just got a belter from a very similar spot on the other side of the box. So both taking a keen interest in this one. Chance for West Brom to go 2 to the good here. Only 4 minutes in the second half. They have come alive. Burnley are almost still in the dressing room. Sluggish. Misplacing multiple passes. And looking off it. Price having a keen eye on this ball. Will it be his right foot or Styles' left foot? It's going to be Styles. Free kick. Hit the wall and the ball did its job. But behind for a corner kick for West Brom. This is where I'm talking about if West Brom can just keep Burnley penned in, can make the most of this momentum and this pressure and put them really to the sword. See, Price is right-footed in swinger. Towards the back post. Well dealt with initially. Ball is repelled. Awkward moment here for Galvez. Under the pressure of Edwards. Broja pressing as well. He won the football back and has a pass to find. Getting back is Diakite sliding in fantastically well. As he has done all game, Diakite. They look better right now. West Brom, more solid. And with intent in the second period. And the fans respond. Great atmosphere inside the Hawthorns. Here's Styles. Across to Phillips, he'll carry up to the halfway line and beyond with no pressure on him. Haven't seen much of Broja. Not much of Ramsey either. Those central players for Burnley have not been good enough for me today. Styles comes to Jimmy J now. Jimmy J Morgan. Teasing and then putting a cross in. That was blocked behind by Roberts. It's going to be another corner kick for West Brom. Attacking that home end of the pitch. These fans have to go through and endure a lot, these West Brom fans, but they're very, very excited about what they're seeing in this second period and what they've seen since James Morrison has taken over. Can they put Burnley to the sword here? Add a third goal and a 2-goal advantage here. Price is in swinger once more. Once again, deep. There's a head on it. Through the crowd, it lacked a lot of power by skipper Campbell. Here's Hannibal. Once again, though, a pass that was left short of Marcus Edwards. And Galvez got a toe in. It wasn't the most complete first half from him, but making much improvement here in this second period. What a Burnley have up their sleeve. What creation have they got? Early ball from Roberts was behind Armando Broja. And then Kyle Walker into the back of Morgan, and that's a foul. Great turn by Diakite. Oh. I thought it was a throw in the favour of West Brom, but Burnley have got it. And Roberts gets back underway here. Towards Max Alain. That pass was short. And that's a poor challenge by Humphreys. Tripping Whitwell. Chose Galvez there. But again, pass is left short. Flat-footed West Brom, Burnley side, and West Brom are proactive and getting to those first loose balls. Great little flick there by Whitwell, and it was Galvez that knocked it past Humphreys and then got clattered into. And the West Brom fans not being quiet about their thoughts in the EFL after Hegero's suspension from the handball last week, which I think is a little bit harsh, to be honest. I know he's punched in the back of the net, but that's on the referees to make the right decision, which they didn't. And shouldn't really be punished, I don't think, but that's just my point of view. There's Malumbi. Shot to Galvez. Early ball in, not dealt with. Campbell was in there. Price under pressure from Hannibal. As well under pressure. It's an interesting switch from the goal scorer. Another poor giveaway this time by Brun Larsen. they're still in this game, Burnley, but boy, they've not played well. Kinte has been a calm head in midfield in this one. Maya, Malumbi. Just a worrying sign with West Ham losing. Burnley struggling here. See, Wolves have been good so far, but decided to come down. I've not found it very easy so far. The more alarming one is obviously West Ham, but there is Morgan offside again. 5th time. 6th for the game for West Brom. And he's given bollocks to the linesman. But yeah, just think when you look at West Ham and that was, I don't know if anyone watched it, but they're lacking control of games, which I thought they would have. And even this one here, you come into this one thinking Burnley would have control. I know they're going to the Hawthorns, tough place to play, informed side, but the lack of connection, lack of control they've got over this game, how well West Brom have pressed them and forced them into mistakes, lack of midfield quality as well. Hannibal and Laurent have been poor. Ramsey as well. It's not going to be easy for these relegated sides from the Premier League. And I really think we're looking at Borough, Millwall, Wolves, West Brom, and sort of the favourites in the early goings. Burnley and West Ham are obviously going to be in the picture. It'd be impossible, surely, to miss the 8, considering there's 2 more extra teams this season. But they both haven't settled as well and played the football that we thought they could play. Here is Brun Larsen. Carvers faces him up and gets a toe in, and Malumbi just hoiks that ball away. Gets West Brom out. Mentioned it earlier, though. They trail West Brom, and as I said, in the start of last season, almost towards the back end of last season, they would throw games away like that. They wouldn't be able to work away in a game, or they'd give up a lead and look so vulnerable at the back. But this sense of dominance and onus and control and inevitability about them coming back is a sign of the times and the improvement of this side here. As a triple substitution is getting ready here for Burnley, one of which is Zeki and Dooney. Broja once again failing to impress. Hannibal Mabry makes way as well. He's been poor. And Laurent as well. So probably the 3 worst players in the pitch all coming off. Maybe Marcus Edwards and Brun Larsen can get some support in midfield and forward areas now. Ball that Kyle Walker can go and retrieve. He's played much better today than what he did versus West Ham. That was a really, really uninspiring performance in that opening match day at home. Today, they'll be much better holding that high line and keeping Morgan relatively under wraps. That ball's fallen the way of Brun Larsen in a favourable position. On the right side of Galvez and chopping back inside. Oh, what a challenge from Diakite. Important. Morgan shifted out left like he often does. Kyle Walker going out to meet him. Steps inside of him and finds Styles. Just brilliant for the youngster. Just nothing but impressed with what he does. I wouldn't be surprised if West Brom fail to go up this season. He is in the Premier League next campaign, alongside Will Lancashire as well, to be honest. 2 players are on Premier League academies, Chelsea and Tottenham in respective camps there. Both have done their time now in the Football League and now playing the big time in the Championship. Both players that will be, I think, highly sought after. Teams that either end up going up this season or teams that want a young player for the future. That's flicked around the corner beautifully. Styles trying to keep that in play, and he does that. Price and Morgan in the middle. Couldn't quite pick out either. Styles follows it up. And the outside of the foot effort is timid. Waste an opportunity, though. Another fullback. Did well initially to keep the ball in. Just thought he could have picked out one of the 2, and in the end, put in between the 2 attackers pushing forward there, Price and Morgan. Wasted opportunity there for West Brom. As I said, it's an opportunity here to wrestle control and dominance here. Gets a 3rd. He almost can wrap up the 3 points here in a massive game for them. And join Charlton and Millwall on 6 points, a perfect start of the campaign. That is a very poor ball for Marcus Edwards, straight into the hands of O'Leary. Lumby, how played now. Advantage to those in blue and white. A lot of the owners now going on those Burnley substitutes to make some sort of difference. Surprised Ramsey didn't get the hook either. He'll probably be next to be pulled. So poor alongside Mabry and Lauren in midfield. And the invisible Broyo obviously had to make way. From Larson and Edwards needed some support. Smart little back heel by Meyer. Find Morgan. Hegerboy obviously missing today, but he's done really well in terms of fulfilling the front line. Meyer. Got it from Galvez. West Brom on his right-hand side, looking dangerous in the second period, much more than they did in the first half. After the chance, a really poor cross in, and Roberts has a chance to chest the ball down the box due to the lack of West Brom presence in there, but the clearance is straight to the skipper Campbell. Cross to his partner in Crime and Phillips, who were both absolutely stunning in that first game, that first win versus Norwich away from home. Different type of game today. They've controlled it. Haven't had to do much defending. Ball between the lines. Morgan, little flick. Got past Walker, but couldn't get past Max Alleyne. Possession changes hands and now back with Burnley. Roberts. Marcus Edwards turned into some trouble there. And in the end, cleaned out Styles, who came bundling in to make the challenge. Needs some support out there, Marcus Edwards. How sort of West Brom are working for and facilitating Morgan's free play up top. They needed to do something similar. Burnley to allow Marcus Edwards to do his best work. So I've seen it already today. The fluidity of the front line, especially with Eggerbo missing. West Brom have sort of had a versatile and malleable front line. Morgan, Price, Meyer, and Whitwell all sort of fulfilling roles across the front four. Whether one be drift out wide, one come narrow, all drop in. It's made it very, very difficult to in a way man mark, but Kyle Walker has had a keen, close eye on Jimmy J. Morgan. Hasn't had much of a shooting opportunity yet, but yet still an assist, showing the quality of the kid. And there he is there making a challenge. Breaks the way, though, of Edwards. Roberts on the outside of him on the right-hand side. So Edwards now. Amdouni, snap shot. Quite comfortable save though in the end for O'Leary. Again, though, you just hit the common trend. Marcus Edwards making things tick for Burnley. Zeki Amdouni a little bit more involved already. To side there, so Maya no foul on him. Huber got forward, but broken the play up there. West Brom come away with it. Transition could be on here, and it could be for the rest of the game with Burnley pushing for an equaliser. Morgan had a lot of space on the left-hand side that not picked out. In the end, safely back to the centre-half Phillips. Where are the Burnley goals going to come from? A question for the whole season, not just this game. Struggle with the connection. Again, another poor turnover. Diakite can skip on. Diakite almost lined a shot up. Sit the ball in. That's got to be a penalty. And it is. Whitwell brought down. Penalty given. Humphries called out. And West Brom have a chance to double their advantage. And this day is looking quite dour and sour for those in claret and blue. Whitwell's knocked the ball past Humphries and got collected by the fullback. Just a lazy challenge. Out of position. But it all comes from the turnover in possession higher up the pitch. Burnley's connection in this game has been absolutely nowhere. and they've been made to hurt for it on multiple occasions. And this could be the dagger blow, if you will. Right. The goal scorer already in this half, Price, going to step up for a chance for a brace here from the spot. A chance for a stop for the Baggies. Isaac Price slots it home, gives the goalkeepers the eyes, and smashes it home into the bottom left-hand corner. And West Brom, you might say, maybe out of reach for this Burnley side today. They have looked very good in the lunchtime sunshine. And Burnley have just looked sluggish off it, just 5 or 10% off their game. And what we know about the Championship, if you're even 1% off, you're going to get found out. And a team like West Brom, who are looking to the higher portions of the Championship table, if you give them any half chance, you make mistakes like that in midfield and make lazy challenges like that from Humphreys, you're going to be made to pay. The Baggies now 2 to the good. Price the second of the half. And 3-1 now in favour of the home side. And the Hawthorns is alive here. In full voice, those fans. And a massive challenge comes in straight away by Styles. Poor Marcus Edwards is cutting a frustrated figure right now because he's had zero help out there. And Nicky Hayen is going to have to learn from this and adjust. And West Brom are in the mood here. Price. Walker. And I think what we've seen today is Burnley, I know, shoe in for the top end of the table. They're going to have to improve. They're going to have to make a few changes, I think. They're going to have to hope that Zian Fleming never leaves the football club because they've missed that presence up top today. Yes, they were pathetic first 45 versus West Ham, but the way they were able to get back in that game and the way Fleming was able to just throw his body around and be in important positions, they've missed that today. Brozier isn't that player. Zeki Amdouni is a complementary piece, I think, up top alongside someone. Marcus Evans has no help. West Brom look like a team. They're well put together, well oiled, and what they are is on the same page. The way Burnley have just given the ball away today at times. It's just been careless. Back with the keeper earlier, he launches up the pitch. And to be honest, the backlines have been that poor. They've just been under so much pressure with a constant possession that, like the Diakita here and Price have had, he leads that run. Styles. Around the corner to Jimmy J. Morgan, who can get his head down and drive. And no one goes to him, which is dangerous. Slips it forward for Price. Couple options in the box if he wants to whip one in. Sets it back, though, for the ever-experienced. Oh, Whitwell. Meyer! Oh. Couldn't step through for another one. But Malumbi has been pulling the strings, sorry. Ever-experienced Malumbi just knows what he's doing out there. I think Jimmy J. Morgan was saying, get me a goal. Come on, lads. He wants to be on top of that golden boot, I think, this season in the Championship. And right now, Burnley look there to be got at. I like the shape without the football. 4-4-2 without it. Springs the press, though, and becomes a bit of a 4-2-3-1. Centre offside against Brun Larsen. No flag up, though. Here is Brun Larsen. Ball put in there. Over everyone. Goes out of play. A goal kick. Here is that chance. Malumbi into Whitwell. Meyer was actually onside. Important save, though, by Weiss to prevent this game getting even uglier. to Roberts here on this right-hand side. Looked okay since coming on, but hasn't been able to really establish a threat for Burnley. Max Lane now with Kyle Walker. Can the veteran manufacture something? Jimmy J. Morgan just bundles him over, pushing the back there. Edwards chopping inside. Diakite once again in the way. And he's tripped, and that's going to be a yellow card, and it is against Marcus Edwards. He is looking one aggravated figure. Diakite, what a game he's had in midfield. I guess if those who tuned in yesterday, had a large amount of people tuning in for my United going down to Hull City, but I was talking about how Slater and Crooks were fantastic last season, their playoff final, when I watched them and in some of the highlight packages, enjoy what Crooks did last campaign. The Championship has got a lot of these type players. Diakite is one of them. Really robust midfielders. Whitwell done well there. He's kept the football. Comes away with... Oh, wow. Foul given. Really nothing called there. Hornby was carrying the ball nicely, though. 55% possession. 1.46 XG in 10 shots versus the 45% possession, the 1 XG in the 5 shots. So double the amount of touches in the opposition box, double the amount of shots, 10% more possession. It's really been dominant today from West Brom. And another misplaced pass. It is schoolboy stuff right now from Burnley. They have checked out mentally. That mistake pass from Price still found its target. Styles. Diakite. He gave the ball away. Now then. Tayev. Ramsey. There was a chance there in a transition for Burnley, but goes to waste, and West Brom get back in numbers in that 4-4-2 defensive shape. Tayev now. Ball to the left. That's where Brun Larsen has been all day long, but hasn't been able to manufacture anything of note here in the second period. Loose pass up Tayev, they won it back. Came the way of Ramsey. It's actually gone out for a corner kick. Swinging to come here from Brun Larsen. It's a really deep hit ball. Headed back into a dangerous area. The header from Ugo Rahuba was poor. This West Brom side need a lot more pressure than that for them to concede, as we saw last week at Carrow Road. Ball set forward for Price, but Kyle Walker can come to get across and make the interception there. So it's going to be a very, very interesting week for this Burnley side. Obviously, got cup football to come. Also, the outcome of whether Zian Fleming ends up leaving the football club or not. That's the big news. Bradford away in the cup. League One opposition should get the better of them. And then, talk about a tough run. Away to Norwich. At home to Borough on a Wednesday night. At home to Bristol City, who many think might be up there this season. And then away to Wrexham in a run of very, very difficult fixtures before they go and stay in Wales and take on Swansea. So, not great. Not great set of fixtures to come when you're not in great form. And so West Brom, their confidence will go from strength to strength after this one. Great run of form, great run of victories, but tough EFL Cup fixture versus Newcastle United at St James's Park. Then a massive Saturday lunchtime fixture next week away to Borough. home to Charlton, and home to Watford. So there's no ever easy fixtures in the Championship, but with the form that West Brom are in, they'll fancy themselves in actually a few of those games. The Borough game is going to be a big indicator, though, of where this side can really end up this season. I know it's already so early in the campaign, only 2 games in, but you see the league sort of take shape and certain storylines start to develop, and that could be one of them. Borough and West Brom. Ramsey went over. The referee had nothing to say about that. Price under pressure, and what a turn. Beautiful footwork there from him. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what can happen next week, Saturday lunchtime. West Brom and Borough, 2 teams are getting a very, very close eye on this season in the Championship. Don't think I'll be able to stream that one here. We've got it's like a Saturday Premier League fixture next week, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless to keep an eye on how that result pans out. It's great to have football back, though, isn't it? Last week was a little taster with the EFL. Oh, gee, mistake there. At the back there between Galvez and O'Leary. Ball cut back, but Larson was waiting for it. Ball can get away now. Yeah, we'll be Liverpool and Forest next week for our fixture on Saturday. So we'll have to give this game a miss for a live stream, but definitely will be covered on the Away Days podcast. And so will this game potentially as well. I might have to give that a mention for the episode coming out on Wednesday. If you do want a wrap of everything around the world of football, Super Cup, Real Madrid's victory, Napoli's comeback, and West Ham's loss, Away Days podcast coming out Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday midday over there in England and in Europe, and then Wednesday evening here in Australia. Exciting week to come, and some Bundesliga predictions this week for the podcast. So keep an eye out. Plan this year 3 podcasts a month to keep on top of your world football news. And of course, tomorrow comes the Premier League review show. Winners, losers, MVP votes, what we learned from the weekend, and some lists as the season goes on from every weekend of Premier League football, including the midweek fixtures as well. Substitutions to come here for West Brom. And here's Jimmy J. Morgan to make way. Didn't get a goal today, but got an assist. And comes Stewart for the Baggies. Can the substitute centre forward potentially cause some more problems for this Burnley backline? Humphreys have to give away the penalty. He's going to make way as well. What a walk up. Trying to squeeze one through the lines there, but Campbell does well and read that, and has read a lot of things well today. They've built themselves quite the resilient back line here, West Brom. Conceded 2 goals already this season, but bags of pressure at Carrow Road, and then against a Burnley side that you'd expect to be much better. They've prevented them from really playing their best football today. As much as they've been poor, so it's down to the pressure and the team defence which West Brom have had on display. Let's turn in their midfield, and ball sprayed out that left-hand side, but sprayed is probably the right word for it because it was totally overhit. Larson giving it a round of applause, but lacked a lot of quality, that ball. Well, less than half an hour, about 20 minutes away from our Premier League afternoon fixtures to come. Quick look at the lineups. Brighton, Villa, going to be an absolute belter, I think. Verbruggen in net. Boskagli plays left back today with Duncan Vuskovic and Mats Wiefer as the right back. It's going to be Yasin Ayari and Pascal Gross. And for me, one of my favourite midfield combinations. Jack Hinchelwood continues his role as the number 10. Maxime de Kuiper as a left winger. Jorginho Rutter now has the role of leading the line, and Diego Gomez, after a solid World Cup, plays on the right-hand side for Villa. Marco Bizzo is in goal. So Zion Suzuki not in the starting 11 today. Ian Matson now as the main left-back starts. Lindelof and Pau Torres with Konza leaving, and Matty Cash is the right-back. Boubacar Kamara, João Gomez in midfield with Ross Barkley, John McGinn and Hemmings, with Ben D up top. So a lot of players are missing from the side. Majo out. Anana obviously out. Bailey out. Abraham injured. So is Manzambi. And no mention of Ollie Watkins. So that might say that he is out the door as well, which is a big shame for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. This team has done such great work in the last sort of 4 seasons. Oh, there's a chance here. In the box for Zeki Amdouni, but just couldn't get his head on that. And the other game to come, City and Bournemouth. What are we going to expect with that one? God knows. City with Donnarumma, Vardiol, Gehi, Diaz and Kusanov. Kusanov still getting a start despite his disappointing match. Nico Riley into midfield alongside Rico Lewis and Elliot Anderson in a really strange midfield 3 with Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, Antoine Semenyo leading the line. Meaning Aït-Nouri and Nunez are on the bench. So it's Kovacic, Nico Gonzalez and Ryan Cherki. Savinho, Doku, Miss, Omar Mamouche on the bench despite links to Tottenham Hotspur. Whitwell makes way. That's a great win. A chance here for Stewart to cut the ball back. Price for a hat-trick. Diakite just nicked it off his foot. Malumbi under pressure and fouled there. And for Bournemouth, Petrovic in goal despite Di Gregorio signing the last few days. Aiden Truffert, Antonio Silva, James Hill, and of course the ever-present Adam Smith at right back. In midfield, Cook and Scott. And that's a really, really robust midfield with Tavernier, Ryan, Clive and Evan Nielsen, with obviously Junior Krupi out for a long period of time. Julian Araujo, Milicevic also out, and Amin Adli out as well. So big names out for Bournemouth, but they've got likes of Alex Tort, Tyler Adams, Alvaro Rodriguez, and Ben Gannon-Doak off the bench as options there. So the 2 games to come after this one in England. Ball put in by Malumbi. It's taking a nick. It's going to be behind. It's going to be another corner for the Baggies. Just taking a nick there for Aruba's back. Price is in, swinger. Great header. Oh. Diakite just couldn't direct it on target. Good delivery though by Price. Deep lofted ball in there. How do we get that ball on target though? What a challenge though. The substitute. Zangula. So can Burnley salvage a consolation goal here late on. So it caused a little bit more problems in the last few minutes. Baggies won a flag. Flag didn't come though. Roberts under a lot of pressure and bundled off at the end and won by team defence and great little knock on by Stewart. Turned it over though. Amdouni gave it away. Diakite Demin to Fowler. Amdouni there. Not much in that. So history wasn't in West Brom's favour, but they're changing history here today. Burnley were unbeaten 7 meetings versus West Brom. The last 7 meetings. 1-2, drawn 5. It's going to be now 2 wins, 5 draws and a loss in the last 8 meetings versus West Brom. Another game in which they've scored 2 or more goals, West Brom. As I said, I think they're overly over-attacking side or electric side of the final third, but they're making things happen right now. I think if they score 2 goals in the game, they're not going to lose many. So Bryn Larson over this free kick in a very central position. 30 or so yards out. Just takes a hit. Straight into Stewart. And did his job as a 2-man wall. A long-range effort. Just sailed over by Ramsey. Not Aaron Ramsey's day. Question is, will he ever have a day? Because I really don't think he's cut out for this division. Not with the physicality and the level of quality that now exists here in the Championship. Long ball, flicked on. Head up. Nice Stewart, but second ball won there by Perez. Oh, great carry. Styles carries it away. Early cross put in. Well blocked though by Roberts. Tikit in Zangula. Great ball in there. How many targets in the box? Repelled as far as Malumbi. Turns away from trouble. Hasn't he looked good once again today? Malumbi. Ball in the little channel. And the Ole's coming out. Styles. Malumbi. Tikite. Malumbi. Oh, beautiful flick. Diakite couldn't get past Kyle Walker. And Diakite jumping over the clearance to keep the throw for the Baggies. Bit of party time here late on. Burnley just haven't been at the races today. Styles squeezes it through. Meyer. Styles. Oh, what a back heel. Oh! Offside. It would have been a beautiful goal. My word. Styles is taking the mick. Stewart in there in the build-up as well. And offside against Meyer in there. It is very much beautiful football playing by the Baggies right now. And Gula's kept that in play. 2 follow-up sliding efforts. Stewart. Burnley a little bit stretched here. Baggies decide to just control the football. This is a humiliation ritual right now for Burnley. Team that last time in the Championship only conceded, 16 goals in the whole campaign. Another offside again. 7th of the game. But they've already conceded 5 in 2. Yes, to 2 opposition that will be at the top end of the table in West Ham and West Bromwich Albion. But this is not a good start for those in claret and blue. It's not quite the yellow brick road or the easy road that many thought it might be. It's looking much more difficult. I fancy Middlesbrough to be one of the teams that could break into that pack. Potentially West Bromwich Albion, but the way the likes of Millwall are playing, and we know that Bristol can play, Charlton have played so far as well, it is going to be a very, very interesting battle for those sides that have come down to see if they can actually stay in this top 8. It is looking very, very competitive. Ramsey took it on. That's well wide. Minute and a half to play in this one. To a nick on that Ramsey shot, so we have corner kick for the Clarets. There's better lunchtimes to have on a Sunday. This is not one of those for the Burnley faithful, nor their players and manager. Nowhere near it today. Edwards to whip one in. Fizzer, low one. Second ball to be won. Poor dealt with by O'Leary, and they've half cleared it. Back with Edwards, who's, despite his brilliant first 45, has sort of faded out of this game in the second period. Ball in. Dealt with by Campbell. Ramsey. Campbell again stooping down it. Clear with the header. Now Stewart, no support up there with him, so has to just take it on himself. And was crowded out by Roberts and Max Alain. As we have just over 10 seconds left, plus some stoppages. Probably assume about 4 or 5 minutes. The amount of substitution that we've had. Great introduction of those World Cup rules by the EFL and the Premier League. Have seen less stoppages and let's stop-start nature to a lot of the English games. And a foot left out there and a foul given away by Meyer. 4 minutes added on here. 4 minutes for Burnley to try and salvage something of this one. Can the Clarets manufacture something from this set piece to potentially just keep this game alive in the final moments? Brun Larson and Ramsey stand over it. You assume Brun Larson with in-swing. He's laid it off for Ramsey. He's taking the shot on, which is blocked. And a foul in there. And West Brom can have the free kick and can almost now control the game, the rest of the game out with 3 minutes to play. Check up the stats here before this game wraps up. 52% possession for West Brom. That's sort of leveled itself out as Burnley had to push for the game later on here, but 1.6 XG versus 1.1. 11 shots to 10. 24 touches in the opposition box for West Brom to 15 of Burnley. Those stats are leveled out as the game's gone deeper, but it really has been all controlled by West Brom in this one. A dominant day under the Sunday lunchtime sun. What are the questions Burnley have had? West Brom have had the answers. Constant mistakes being made for Burnley today have been a worrying sign for them and their fans. Price is on a hat-trick, carrying the ball forward. Isn't fancying the ball in the box and instead will go for the corner flag. He gets bundled over too easily. Lumbie just going down the cramp there in midfield. Wants a substitution. Surprised not more have gone down with cramp today with the heat and sunshine. Lunchtime here. Undoubtedly Price, the match in this one. 22-year-old Isaac Price, 2 goals today. 2 chances created, 1 big chance created. 63 touches. 6 touches in the box and 3 passes into the final third. It's been a very, very dominant display from him. 4 ball recoveries and 50% of his duels have been won. Also Whitwell as well, got the goal in the first half. 20 years of age for Harry Whitwell. He's also an exciting machine. 2 chances created in this one. 48 touches and 3 passes in the final third alongside his goal. And I've loved the work of Diakite today. Didn't stand out as much in the opening game with how well the back lines played. But the most defensive contributions today with 8 stood out. 59 touches, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 4 interceptions and 6 ball recoveries. Been a very good day in a robust and dominant midfield. That West Brom have absolutely owned the midfield battle today. Price has gone absolutely belted that into one of the far rows of the near stand. His time is running out here for Burnley. Oh, Walker's clearing pass blocked by Stewart. Can't hold him off, and Walker with the recovery to make sure it's not 4 for the Baggies. They played 30 extra seconds here on top of the 4 minutes of stoppage time. Don't imagine there'll be much longer to play. Terrible to deal with. Campbell puts it behind. Corner kick later on here for Burnley. Final game of the weekend of EFL action. Final chance of the weekend from the Championship. Like I said, it was for another delivery in the box. That Burnley away end is emptied out. No fizz up. Well dealt with. And that will be that. What a dominant display at the Hawthorn today by West Brom. A statement of intent versus the side that got relegated for the Premier League last season. James Morrison's side absolutely humming today. Goals from Whitwell and 2 from Price in the second period. Answering back from the early own goal by Styles. Burnley really never went near West Brom today. They played a bit of football. They were more coherent with and without the ball. And there's a lot for Burnley to do. With the threat of Zian Fleming leaving the football club, they're going to have some soul searching. But for James Morrison's West Brom side, this young side, Morgan, Price, Whitwell, all involved in the control from Diakite and Malumbi in midfield. He's still going to go very, very dangerous side that could push for promotion. It ends here on our Super Sunday fixture. West Bromwich Albion 3, Burnley 1.